Matej Novak, Assetario.
Yes.
You're the CEO of this company, coming up hard and fast. High-level view about what it is, what it does.
Thank you very much for having me, Peggy. Really appreciate it. I started the business with a co-founder of mine out of MIT a couple of years back because we really want to build models that understand people. And we want to enable publishers with the absolutely utmost best understanding of their customers that anybody could give them. So I'm very passionate about building machine learning models that, tell you as much about your customers as possible. We're able to understand really well, what kind of items are your customers looking for? Do they need a skin? Are they looking for a discount? Are they going to be loving your app, or are they better served in another one of your apps? And we're just trying to, the tagline is we're trying to build the best machine learning as a service in the world. And I'm very excited about it. We've got 30 people. Out of that, maybe 25 are technical or machine learning guys, and slowly scaling up the sales team now in New York.
Very cool. Machine learning as a service. That's a very cool term indeed, because we've got the timing for it, right? We saw what ChatGPT can do for consumers. Are you going to be that for B2B?
Yes. So ChatGPT is incredible in the sense that those guys have been able to communicate to the world how incredibly powerful machine learning is in the B2C standpoint, right? They have really shown you that for some targeted use cases, AI is simply the cheapest, best, and the most powerful way to solve the solution. And so what Assetario is doing is we want to build the best targeted machine learning models, but for B2B monetization use cases. And so then when you have a particular problem that we're solving, you're just best served by the power of the models that we're building.
So that's just it. You're able to work with companies in the B2B space. We're here at Pocket Gamer, where it's all about games marketers. They want to understand people. Tell me a little bit more about the nuts and bolts, how you're integrated, how you're able to take in that data, and what you're able to tell them based on that data.
And by the way, I love the mobile gaming market. That's where we started out. And the reason we started out there is because games just have an incredible number or amount of understanding of their customers, right? So if you compare it to a standard e-commerce shop, let's say Amazon, they don't really know their customers very well, because you go to Amazon, you search for the product that you wanted to buy anyways, and then you buy it. Whereas in mobile games, let's say a really good game, you spend 2-3 hours on it per day. Like Diablo Immortal is a game that I play a lot. Brawl Stars is a game I play a lot. And they really have enough understanding of what I want. And if they just show it to me, I'll be so much more likely to buy it. What we're doing is we're able to connect to analytics data that any game is collecting already. We're able to go very deep on a user level. So we're able to say, this user, they have seen a skin and they haven't bought it. So, let's try something else. Or this user, all of their friends are buying diamonds, or their guild is now on a diamond buying spree. What this user deserves a discount offer on diamonds. When they're going to see it on their screen, they're going to be delighted, they're going to buy it, and they're going to love your game. So it really is just very granular understanding, I
mean, we started down that journey of, well, you can see the guild is buying diamonds, they should get a discount, but I'm not always sure that app marketers fully understand what is locked in their data.
As the saying goes, data is the new oil. And it's true, with the caveat that, it's just like oil, it's completely useless unless you dig it out of the ground and do something with it. So you need to play around with it. We basically are able to support currently 3 powerful use cases. One of them is a standard understanding of what does a user want to buy? What is the right size and amount and content of things that they're buying. So that's a live ops use case. Then we're able to leverage the around 350 million monthly active users that we're predicting for to build a really good understanding of a global spending pattern, which we're leveraging for a second product, which is global pricing. And then for a third product, which is a very strong user acquisition use case, is we're able to forecast really well the future spending of every individual user. We initially started as a live ops use case, but it turns out that it's an incredibly powerful information for user acquisition specialists. And so, for example, the way they're able to leverage that product is by, you know, using our understanding of their future spends to say which campaign is going to drive money for me and which one is money losing. And so just on that use case, we want to make sure that no user acquisition manager ever loses any money ever again. Because after one day, we're able to tell them losing money or making money. And so nobody has to wait for 30 more days. And that's just a very practical example of machine learning, in the industry.
Pricing sounds very interesting because we are in an economy where you're telling me you can tell me pricing, and I'm thinking that is a very unpredictable, changing variable. Give me an idea of the patterns you're seeing. I mean, if you could give a couple of ideas to games marketers saying, well, you know what, this pricing range is really hot, that one, forget it.
Very interesting, right? Because if you look at the best businesses out there in-app purchases, let's say it's Netflix, right? Or Disney Plus. Disney Plus and Netflix have higher prices in the US, they have cheaper prices in India, and it's only fair, right? It's obvious that you should at least follow the things that Disney Plus has. Let's say you have double the price of India. Let's say your tier 3 countries are half the price of your tier 1 countries. And then you can go much deeper, People are looking at, let's have cheaper prices in Android, let's have more expensive prices in iOS. You can go deeper than that. You can start with a couple rules to say, let me just pull GDP per capita of a country and let me scale prices by that. And at minimum, that's going to drive a lot of value for you. And there's obviously a lot more sophisticated ways to go about it by taking in real-time GDP data, by looking at location. For example, even in America, right? The difference between New York and Alabama is monumental in economic conditions. And that's just a very easy example of how much more you can personalize.
Do you integrate with the app suppliers? You integrate with Lean Plum, Clever Chap, other companies. So you're able to say to a marketer exactly what? I'm integrated there, so I'm seeing the data and getting a more holistic view. What is that allowing you to tell an app marketer and advise them?
You're right. So there's a lot of data sources that if we combine, we're going to have the most powerful predictions. So obviously, let's say what's important for marketers, we're able to collect data, your first party data from, let's say, your Amplitude analytics or Firebase analytics. Then we have a lot of integrations with MMPs where we're able to pull your cost data, your CPIs, and your contextual data. Like these are the campaigns that you're targeting. So now we're all of a sudden combining campaign information, we're combining user level data, which is generally something that lives in two different systems already, right? Which is a non-trivial thing to combine. And then there's a lot of metadata that we're personally working on very hard to make sure that, when something changes in a particular Indian state, let's say of, Gujarat or something like that, we are able to react to it and, reflect the economic conditions, for example. So there's the anonymized metadata that we're able to see in the industry there, and then there is all the data stores that you possibly have in your business, end-to-end integration so that we can combine them all into, a full prediction. If you look at a normal marketer, like oftentimes it's hard to even combine your CPIs and LTVs. So in a dashboard, let alone make machine learning predictions on top of it.
So you're into data big time, Matej. I mean, you have your company, you come from MIT, this is in your DNA. Tell me some of the surprises, even for you, in the data that you're looking at, where you're like, man, I didn't think a marketer could even know this. It surprised me.
I was honestly most surprised by how much value this is generating. So I remember, we're just starting out. We're students. We had our first, client, and we just started to personalize in-app purchases, saying, hey, would a user like to buy 100 coins or 50 coins? Do they want to be shown a bigger offer or a smaller offer? Like in the most simple use case you can think of. And you can easily get 40, 50% revenue uplifts on those targeted offers by literally just changing the sizing of offers. If you surface the right offers, you can get incredible increases. What that means is that you can have a fantastic game, really, really, really good game, really good product, right? It feels great, it plays great, it has incredible retention. And if you just aren't surfacing the right offers, you're losing out on half your revenue and like maybe 3 times the profits. It's incredible. And the other thing that I was surprised with is, gaming is a margin business, right? Let's say, if you can get $1 in LTV, then you're spending 70 cents in CPIs, and then you're just trying to get a little bit of that, margin as your profit or as your EBITDA. So any LTV improvements, which are really revenue per user improvements, you're still getting them for the same price. So when we have clients, for example, in China, big games, right? For example, Century Games is a long-standing client of ours. They have hundreds of millions of revenue. And when we improve their game's LTV by 30%, the game's revenue goes up by 2x. It's really exponential there. I was just so surprised how exponential everything is in gaming.
So it's like AI as a service, but there's a level of customization at scale, isn't there?
It's very important to make sure that we can customize as much as possible, because monetization and user acquisition, this is in the realm of core business, right? So in order for our stakeholders to be satisfied with having a automated system handle a core part of their business, like discounting, surfacing those offers, they really need to have as much configuration in there as possible so that the customer has a feeling of control, right? So there's no stress of, hey, what if your AI goes haywire and then we have 2 days of downlift? So it's a lot about finding ways to, automate, but in a way where humans can still apply their expert knowledge through as much configuration as we can possibly support. It's very fun. Yeah.
So tell me how you give control back to the app marketer as well.
For example, a couple ways. Let's take an example of an app marketer in the user acquisition use case that are using our revenue forecasting engine, right? The way we're giving control is we're able to have front end where the customer is able to click through what are, for example, the most important revenue forecasts that they're interested in. Are they interested in, after 1 day of the user being in the app, give me a 2-month revenue forecast, or maybe are they interested in only 14-day revenue forecast, which are going to be more accurate, but still the most relevant for this customer. Another way we're able to, for example, have it be customized is by changing the way that things are predicted. Some customers, for example, are interested in having pure revenue data, right? Revenue numbers. But some customers are only interested in saying, is this user going to be a payer or non-payer? Because if, for example, the only decision they're making on is payer versus non-payer, then they can get better performance of models by being more specific. And then on anything that we do where we're actually changing the monetization in the game, we're able to scale an A/B test up and down. Every single client is running an A/B test with us. When they start with us, they only deploy it on 20% of the user base, and they can dynamically change it. When they are full with us, we have customers that we have been with for 2 years, and we're still only handling 80% of their user base, because we just need to make sure every single month that we're providing the value that we're providing, right? And so those are, for example, some levers that are important to pull and, surface.
It's probably also good times for you, Matej, when I think about the rising importance of the subscription model. They beating a path to your door?
Subscriptions are very cool. Or we're trying to port our models into subscription apps as well to make sure that we significantly increase our market size, right? And so, we're already personalizing battle passes for games. So we thought, let's go into dating, let's go into fitness. And that's actually very fun. A lot of gaming publishers, they're very tech heavy. They have a lot of people internally that know how to code. Whereas in subscription apps, it's more important to be able to deliver external value. And I love the market. Yeah. It's not the pocket gamer crowd, but we love them as well. I think we're pioneering performance pricing. So on all the products where we are increasing revenue, we always show you this is how much extra money we generated in this month. And so you're just going to pay us a small percentage of that. And that just shows the kind of relationships that we want to build with our customers. I really just want to provide value, build good products, build good predictions, do a good business that really makes sense for our customers.
It makes them rich.